Hey everybody, welcome back. It's patch 8.8. This time I'm going to show you a build for Jax that's pretty similar to the Conqueror Udyr build that we did recently with Rageblade. This is a mid to late game focus build which excels in dueling and split pushing. We're going to look at two different item build options, one with Warrior into Rageblade and one with Tiamat into Rageblade. If you choose Warrior, that 2-item core will give you extremely high single target DPS. This will make you a very strong ganker and duelist, but if you chose Tiamat instead of Warrior, this combination will give you a much faster jungle clear, so you have a sort of safety net if you can't get fed by killing enemy champions early. The Tiamat also makes your late game split pushing a much bigger threat because you can kill a wave of minions very fast. Now for the runes, Conqueror works well with this aggressive invading and split pushing style because if you are farming the enemy jungle or pushing an enemy tower, this counts as being in combat, so if an enemy champion shows up, you can get an instant Conqueror proc on your first attack against them. And then next up we're taking Triumph because there's really no other good options here. And then we're taking Legend Alacrity for the attack speed for Rageblade. Then finally Coup de Grace so we can try to finish off those low health enemy champions to try to get a big Triumph proc and keep our kill streak going. Now for the secondary, the Domination Tree, we can proc sudden impact with Jax's Q, and then also taking Ravenous Hunter, because our abilities are going to do a pretty good amount of damage, so a percentage of all of that damage is going to give us healing. Alright, now for the items, we're going to start level 1 with the Hunter's Machete, so only get the Rejuvenation Bead if you're planning to get the Tiamat first, otherwise get the Refillable Potion level 1. So for your first item, you want to rush either the Tiamat, Blue Smite Warrior, or Blue Smite Bloodrazor in rare cases. I would only choose Bloodrazor if you were against like 3 tanks. Only get the Gunblade if you're fed. Just look at these stats. So it gives you 40 attack damage and 80 ability power. So both of these are going to get increased by a percentage from Rageblade. And Rageblade is also going to do physical on-hit damage based on our AD. It's going to do magic on-hit damage based on our AP. And Jax has a lot of AD and AP scaling in his abilities. So for example, his Q scales with both AD and AP. His ultimate passive, which happens on every second attack with Rageblade, scales with AP. So this is a lot of damage, and look at this passive right here on Gunblade. A percentage of all damage you do, not physical damage, not magic damage, but all damage, which includes true damage from Conqueror, all of this is going to heal us. So if you're fed enough, this item is going to turn you into an absolute monster, but if you're behind, you're really not going to be able to get much use out of it. And then in the late game, get your defensive items. You can finish your Titanic if you built a Tiamat, but otherwise just get your big armor and magic resist items. Whatever you need to counter the strongest enemies and get as tanky as possible. Now for the first clear, with Jax, it doesn't really matter whether you start red or blue, so just start wherever bot lane is so you can get the better leash. Start level 1 with E. Level 2 take W, go to Wolves, and attack the small wolves first. Then move up to your second buff, take a look at the nearby lanes, top and mid, to decide which one looks like a more likely kill, which enemy is more pushed, which one doesn't have any movement abilities. But if neither one of those looks like a good option to gank, just invade the enemy jungle. I'm going to show you two different games, one with Warrior and one with Tiamat. Starting with the Warrior gameplay first, just finishing off my first clear and looking for a gank in either top or mid lane. Decide to go for the mid lane because he's a little bit more pushed. I go the long way around the back. So there goes his flash, so I use my Q and flash to catch up, and I take one step back because I don't want to be in front of him because then he'll be able to E to me and get away. So I prevented him from using his E, and when my Q comes back off cooldown, we get that kill. Then we see this low health enemy AD carry down here, so I'm going to try to sneak in behind this guy too. Start with E then Q. We'll get that kill. So let's just continue farming the next closest thing, the Gromp. And my wolves are not up, so let's just run over towards mid lane. Try to get behind this Yasuo again and catch him by surprise. So my mid lane teleports in. Yasuo engages on him. Sink him behind this guy with our E and use a Q only when he gets out of range to gap close again. Sadly, we weren't able to kill that guy fast enough to save his ear. That just means more farm from me. Now, I'm so close to finishing Warrior that I just wanted to try to finish that first recall. You need about 2,300 to get that. I'm out of mana. Probably shouldn't try to fight sitting on this much money. So just go to the Wolves. That's going to give me enough money to get that Warrior. Big Power Spike, 60 attack damage. And then my blue buff's coming up pretty soon. I have about 10 seconds to spare, so I'm going to grab this Gromp first. Then blue. We're maxing Q and then W. So let's try this Yasuo once again. Bot lane is not very pushed, so we're not going to be able to get those guys. Stay out of vision. Get real close to him. He doesn't see us coming. Stun him with the E. There, I made a mistake by using my Q to jump to him, and Azir knocked him back into me. So I wasted my Q, and that would have saved my life if I had that up right there when Elise showed up. So that was my first death because I wasted Q there. But our mid lane gets that Elise. So when I spawn, just go back to red buff and then try to run back towards mid lane to try to get another kill on this Yasuo. Jump to him, stun him. Chilling Smite. Red buff slow. And our Q's coming up. Get that kill too. So here, I probably could have survived this again. I messed up because I didn't use my ult at all, and I didn't even use my flash. So if I would have just ulted before diving tower, probably would have lived. Then I come back to life, find this Elise over here. So now the enemy bot lane's chasing pretty deep. Well, we lost our support. We get the enemy support. So then here I dive in, take tower aggro, my ADC dives in. So I'm just waiting inside tower range to take as many tower hits as possible to keep my ADC alive. But we still couldn't get that guy. I was real close. Use our potion, grab some fruit, and we're back up to full health. So I saw this Elise walk in this direction, so I was going to try to surprise her as she was doing red buff. But she's just sitting in the bush, so I'm just going to grab this red buff. I just jump over the wall to grab the Krugs too. Here comes a Malphite around the corner. So I start with an E, then stun him, auto attack reset with a W, follow that up with a Q. See our mid lane getting ganked, so he ults at least to me. Finish her off. 1 for 1. But watch this. This Yasuo's using emote like he thinks he's safe or something. I'm not gonna do anything, bro. You're totally safe. I'm just gonna wait right here. Waiting for him to push. And now he's pushed far enough for me to run in there. So start with the E, Q to him, stun him, chilling smite, and he's dead. So that's going to be just enough for us to get our Rageblade complete. As I'm invading the enemy jungle, see a fight happening in bot lane, so let's run down there. Could have got that Malphite, but I decided it was better to get the Sivir instead. And then meanwhile, my mid lane dies, so I'm going to run over there and cover that lane. Grab a little bit more experience. Here, it takes me a little bit of time to kill these raptors. It would definitely be faster with Tiamat, but raptors and Krugs are the best example of that. So let's run up to top lane now and try to help this top laner. So E and then Q. Then when your stun is ending, use a chilling smite so you don't overlap your CC. It's really hard to get away from that. Then if you do build a hextech Gunblade and Randuin's, that's 2 more activatable slows, which makes it pretty easy to stick to somebody and ramp up your Conqueror and Rageblade damage. So just wait for the right time to dive in, activate E and ult. Looks like I kind of wasted that flash because the Elise was dead, so there was really no chance of me dying. Now, bot lane has a big fight happening. Let's see if a control ward and Dragon Pit on the way down. Looks like they got my ADC. We're at least going to be able to finish off this Malphite. I was gonna easily be able to finish off this tower, but I clicked on the Elise, so I took tower aggro, and then she was able to finish me off. But then here comes Azir, he cleans up that Elise, and we get that assist. Now because I'm pretty fed, I'm gonna be building the hextech Gunblade. My teammates try to do dragon while I'm dead and it gets stolen. But I'm just gonna run over to Rift Herald. Now, that's enough money for me to get Hextech Gunblade complete. Then I'm going to sell my refillable to get enough money to upgrade my boots. Now, this Rift Herald is about to expire in 1 minute, so I'm going to run down towards bot lane and just try to split push this really hard and see if I can get a tower. So, I ping the mid lane tower 3 times as I activate this Rift Herald, so my teammates hopefully push mid lane because I have a feeling the enemies are going to try to run down here to try to stop me. So, look at this. 4 enemies show up to try to counter this Jax, and meanwhile my teammates just push mid lane. They all go back to mid lane, except for Elise. She's still here. And here comes the ADC now. All the enemies are just scattered, but she's alone. So I just try to E, Q on top of her. She uses ult to get away. So now we're just going to grab this tower. Meanwhile, in mid lane we get that inhib. And there's Sivir. E and Q slower with hextech. This time, we get that kill. Dragon's coming up pretty soon. And now that we got an inhibitor down, is a pretty good time to try to get Baron, because the enemies can't protect mid lane and fight for Baron at the same time. So I start building Spirit Visage and head over towards Baron. I'm just gonna jump over the back wall of Baron and start attacking it. We can solo Baron probably with this build. It would be a lot easier if you had Bloodrazor with Gunblade, Rageblade. Team's gonna come over this time. So my teammates are running up towards top lane. I'm just gonna grab this one wave of minions from mid lane and then run towards bot lane because we already got the mid inhib down. So my next main target is this bot lane inhib. Hopefully they'll split up again, trying to defend bot and top at the same time, and we'll do the same thing that we did a few minutes ago. So I was just waiting around this corner to see if Sivir was going to push out so I could burst her down, but she played safe. Oh. Got a flash. Ooh, that hurts, doesn't it, Malphite? My teammates engaged. ADC's trying to defend Nexus towers from those super minions in mid lane. We're just going to push this inhib. And that's pretty much the end of the first game. Now, for the second game, we built a Tiamat instead of a warrior. And also, my teammates were not doing as well as my first team. Run up to top lane, try to get this first blood. We get that flash pretty easily. So that's a successful gank. Then let's just grab Scuttle. Use this plant to check the enemy jungle. And there's a Sejuani still over here killing our Krugs. Let's just try to harass her a little bit. Do some damage. She's running over to top lane, but I'm really not able to do much in this situation because enemy top lane's full health. My top lane didn't come over. So I just walk away, go back to farming. But then a few seconds later, looks like the top laners have traded a little bit of damage, and now Irelia is pushing, so we're able to sneak in behind her. Now she doesn't have flash. She still survived for a surprisingly long time though. So I ended up using that flash just because I thought she was going to get away. Run to mid lane, pick up a kill on the Xerath. We weren't there in time to save Heimerdinger. But now, look at all these minions attacking the Sejuani. So I decided to try to fight this guy and try to position in front of him to block his Q so he can't jump away. A lot of minion damage, and we get a double kill. That's going to be enough to finish our Tiamat basic boots, and with 650, I'm just going to go for a dagger and a long sword. Tried to gank bot lane, but that looks warded, so let's just keep farming. Grab red. check the enemy jungle. We find the enemy jungler taking his blue buff. Continue where I left off in my jungle with the raptors. And then move up to wolves. Grab my blue 2. Grab a scuttle. We're just killing everything because there's no gank options right now. So we're just trying to kill as many things as we can. But now we see the enemy jungler up top lane, and we're going to run up there and try to kill him. So he uses all his cooldowns to get away from Scion, so it's pretty easy for us to just run in there, get that last hit. Now I still have ultimate ready, and Irelia teleports back to the lane. Scion was waiting in the bush. He comes over to help me finish off this Irelia. It's not going to be very hard for us to 2 versus 1 this guy. Gromp spawns. It's the only thing to kill over here. So let's just jump over here, grab this real quick. Jump away. Jump back to the ward. And now we're just going to run into the enemy jungle now because we killed everything in our jungle. Start with the raptors. See how fast it is to kill raptors when you have a Tiamat. And then here I made a big mistake because I tried to dive this guy, but he stuns me before I can jump to him, and then the Sejuani is right there. And they get my mid laner too. Unlucky, but when I spawn, just run to Rift Herald. And let's try mid lane once again. So I meant to EQ this Xerath, but after I used E, I didn't have enough mana for Q, so I just wasted my flash there for nothing. Trying to steal this blue buff now, again. And that's one Mad Piggy now. So he's chasing me pretty hard. Nami heals me, keeps me alive, I jump back in. And then I see the opportunity to EQ on that stunned Ashe, so we finish her off, avoid that Xerath damage, and I'm going to activate this Rift Herald now to try to push down this bot lane tower. And here's the support still over here, so I don't know why she didn't run away, but I was easily going to be able to burst her down. So let's grab this tower. Then we should probably go back to base because we're sitting on a lot of money. We can pick up our Rageblade, and then I'm going to start building hextech. So we can get Cutlass, grab Dragon. Now I just need a couple hundred more gold to finish this hextech Gunblade, so let's just kill one more wave of minions, then go back to base. So we can get this huge power spike. My mid laner gets caught, but I'm still just going to try to split push because I know I can push so hard. And looks like since we got a Varus, we'll probably just be able to hold that tower enough. Meanwhile, we also got the Scion pushing top lane. Then I made a mistake here by using my Q to jump into tower range because right after I used my Q, the Karma and Ashe showed up. That's my second death. Heimerdinger teleports in behind me. I don't know what he was trying to do. This is the type of game where I don't have faith in my teammates, and when I come back to life, I'm just going to run straight back down to bot lane and keep pushing. So this tower is pretty low health now. Let's just run in, finish off this tower. Here comes a teleport, but I'm just going to activate my ult and finish off the tower. And then this guy takes a lot of damage real fast. We get hit by the 3-second long Ashe stun, but still won that 1 versus 1. And that's the most fed one on their team, by the way. But he gets a little bit too close. Then look how fast we can heal up from attacking his minions. I see the Ashe in bot lane with Karma, so I see a good chance to run over here and try to help my teammates. We can probably win this fight. Try to get the Xerath, but he gets away, so I just switch my focus to Sejuani. We get the Karma too. Now, I should probably spend this 3,000 gold, so I pick up my Titanic, get my Merc Treads, and a Cloth Armor. Now I'm going to go up to top lane now to try to push that one. So we see the Irelia up here, but when I run in to try to 1v1 her, she just disappears. It looks like she doesn't want to fight. Push this all the way to inhib. Meanwhile, since the strongest enemy is not in bot lane, my teammates engage down there. And once we get to the inhib tower, there's Irelia. She tries to 1v1 me. This healing is going to make it pretty easy to win this 1v1. She just can't burst me down faster than I can heal. So when the enemies go up top lane, my teammates grab Dragon. It's a perfect example of what you want to get out of split pushing. Forcing the enemies to decide between two bad choices. Big team fight about to happen in mid lane. Our Heimerdinger gets caught, but I'm just going to jump in, try to damage this Irelia, burst her down real quick, take her out of the fight, the strongest enemy. Then I just switch my focus to the next closest squishy target that I could reach. And now, I'm going to go for that Xerath, because he's more squishy than Sejuani. Now let's get the Sejuani too. So that's going to be the first inhib down. I was just going to grab this big wave of minions before going back to base, but then my Scion needed help, so I stayed around. I don't really have any mana to help him, but looks like he's okay. But then, it's like they're trying to follow me, but they're a minute late, and they all died. Now for the last item, I'm going to build a Spirit Visage to give us a little bit more healing. So let's sell our machete, and I'm just going to go back to split pushing really hard. So let's try bot lane now, since mid is already down. So we got an Ashe down here. Try to damage the tower a little bit, but then here comes a Sejuani too. So there goes the Ashe ult. Sejuani follows it up with her ult. So I activate my E and try to jump on the Ashe to burst her down. So she uses Flash. Activate Randuin's, try to get away from the Sejuani. I sidestepped this dash. Activate E. And then Ashe got too close, so I was able to use the E stun to finish off that Ashe. Now, I'm going to play this again. Watch how much damage I'm doing from Conqueror. Watch the number. So we have 2897 true damage right now from Conqueror. And then, 5 seconds later, we have 3500. So we just did 600 true damage in less than 5 seconds right there. And that's why Conqueror counters tanks. So now my team's in the enemy base. We're just going to push and end this game. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. The next video is going to be tanky Aftershock Phoenix Udyr. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Thanks for watching guys, and I will see you again next time.